Okay, what are you saying, people? Hope you're all doing well. Today we've got another live stream. I'm going to talk you through what's going on in the charts today, see what's going on. But before we get into that, make sure you follow me on my Telegram channel. Left a link to that in the description and in the live chat. Posting a lot of different trade setups there throughout the week, and you don't be missing out on that. So make sure you go check that out. But like I said, got another live stream. Going to talk you through what's going on in the charts and see if you've got any opportunities coming our way. Good morning. Hope everyone's doing okay. Again, if you want me to look at any different charts for you, just drop it in the live chat, any charts that you're looking at this morning, and I will take a look at them as well. And also tell me which time frame as well, which time frame you're looking to trade them on, and I'll take a look for you guys. But first up, we're going to start with AUD/USD. So for this one, again, a little bit tricky. Price action is a little bit choppy in this area after we've had that strong impulse move to the downside in the past couple of weeks or so, a week or so. As you can see, price being a little bit corrective. We did see a nice move to the downside, but price came straight back up, giving us a little bit of hint that that was a bit of a false move to the downside there for AU. So if I just jump to the daily quickly, you can see we had this support here in the market. This is kind of like our previous swing low before giving us this big push to the upside, giving us that new high. And you can see we just wicked below it, then price pull back up, closing the bullish candle there. So it looks like AU could be on its way to the upside here, is what I'm feeling for this pair from looking at the daily, looking at the 4 hourly. We did get some bearish closes there on the 4H, so it could be a scenario where we have a push to the downside first before going back up. Of course, we still need to take out this resistance here in the market. I do think we can take that out, but as you can see, we had a bearish reaction already from that area, so I might see a little bit more retrace before having another attempt at going breaking through that area. But I do think AUD/USD could be pushing to the upside. Yeah, let me take a look at Euro JPY. Which time frame did you take this short on for Euro JPY? Okay, yeah, Euro JPY looks very, very bullish right now. Looking at on the 4H, and even the current candle is pushing up as well. A lot actually. So yeah, Euro JPY is looking very, very bullish here. It has cleared this key level here around 130. So if I just zoom out, you can see resistance here, add to that support there, resistance, add to that support. So 130 was quite a key level here on the 4H time frame, and we kind of just held that area just over the course of the end of yesterday, early this morning. As you can see, we held that area on 30, used that as support, and it looks like that's giving us the spring to come and probably test those areas, or maybe even take out those areas there for Euro JPY and the 4H, take out those recent highs and give us some new highs. So yeah, Euro JPY is looking very, very bullish here. Again, I could probably assume that maybe you shorted around here in that area, maybe a double top or a triple top there with 1, 2, 3 tests, looking for another move to the downside. But again, maybe zooming out, looking at the high time frames, like the 4H, maybe spotted a level there. But no, it does look like a reasonable place to short, because we did have that big extended move to the upside. Price is really corrective. Looks like price could have taken a dive to the downside, but again, you don't win them all. It looks like price held that 130 support, well, around 130-ish, and looks like Euro JPY is pushing to the upside back to those highs. And with the price action we're seeing here in the 4H, the price action we're seeing here on the daily, it looks like it'll probably take out those highs and give us a new high there. Again, I'm not sure how long it will sustain itself, but price is looking very bullish here for Euro JPY, and probably could continue a lot further depending on how big that push is. But it does look like the price is going to come back to those highs over there. And again, Euro JPY does move similar to Euro USD, and Euro USD is also looking like it's having a push to the upside there as well. As you can see, we've had this big push to the downside of the past month or so. You can see prices being this downtrend, and we have come to a key level here on the daily chart. And you can see, I just highlight this area of support, which I was talking about my weekly analysis. You can see a really nice area of support. We had a pullback, and this whole big move all the way up to 1.23 sort of came from pulling back from that area. So again, it does have a lot of weight behind it. You can see we did break below it last week, then we broke back above it. So a bit of indecision at that level, which was expected. Then as you can see, we did push a lot higher to the upside there. So price right now is kind of looking quite bullish for Euro USD, and I think we could see a push back into this area of support here, which is the same area I was talking about in my weekly analysis, because it was prior support, held us consolidating a little bit over on top of it. I can see first, second, three tests of that support before breaking below, strong close below, no retest, no wick into it, and prices fell to the downside. So we could be looking for that retest of that area now for Euro USD, coming back into it, holding that support around 1.17500, and seeing price continuing back into this area of prior support, now turned resistance. So that's where I'm favoring for USD. You can see the conviction on the move to the upside for USD, very corrective on its way down, and a big push up, indicating that was sort of turning that momentum from bearish to bullish, and we could be seeing that continuation to the upside. And since we're coming from a key level, I think we do have the strength to see price push to the upside back into around 1.18790. So that's what I'm expecting Euro USD to go to. Again, not too sure if we'll break through that area, but I do assume price to go push to the upside, see if we go a lot further, and maybe even climb above it. If it does, could be seeing a bigger reversal on the higher time frames, and see price maybe even have a reversal and see price come back all the way to the highs and just continue the overall bullish trend that we've seen in the past few months or so for USD. So that's where that price could go if we start taking out some key levels above it. But for now, expecting to see a push to the upside for USD back into that 1.18790. Again, GPUSD as well, similar to Euro USD. They do move, they'll affect for the US dollar, of course. And as you can see, recently we did get a nice push to the upside for GPUSD. However, for GPUSD, we did take a dive this morning. As you can see right now, price is looking, well, currently looking very, very bearish on that candle closure. The overall structure of price is still very bullish, but the thing is about that close of that 4H candle, we did close into a very key area of support and resistance. So if I just take you across here, you can see resistance, support, again, big move to the upside from that same support. So that's an important thing to note. Again, support there, consolidated just below it. Again, support there, support, resistance, and now we'll close back into that level. So again, it could be sort of just a fake move, push down, get people to short the market, and then we can see a push to the upside in the opposite direction. Of course, price does have the momentum behind it to actually go and break through that level. We haven't really seen too much of a hold at that level, but if I just push it, if I just zoom into the hourly, you can see a very big move into that level. So again, just depends if we hold at that level or not. If we do hold at this level for GPUSD around 1.38550, if you do hold this support, I think there's a good chance that GPUSD could be on its way back up to 1.4, which is this key level here. So this is kind of the key level that I was looking for GPUSD to see if we can get above it and hold. Right now we've had a strong close into it, so a lot of momentum, a lot of bearish momentum coming to that level. Just depends if we get the price action. Same price is holding it, so you can look at the hourly, the 30-minute, see if you can get some nice bullish candles coming to the upside. Hold that area. I think there's a good chance GPUSD could see a swing up to 1.4, which is all out there, and that is around 330 pips to the upside. So GPUSD could be seeing a nice push to the upside. Again, it does look like on the DXY as well, we could be seeing a drop to the downside. So that kind of correlates with GPUSD going up as well, since the pound has been very, very bullish in the past few weeks, months as well. USD JPY, for this pair, we've taken a push to the downside here. A bit of retrace, I'm still treating that as retrace to the downside. Again, we could fall a little bit lower as well, because again, if the US dollar can be weak, we could be seeing USD JPY fall to the downside as well. However, if you do go and break through this trend line here, I feel like price could be actually going to the upside here. Again, potentially to a 11500, because we did have that key weekly area up there that I did highlight last week, saying price could potentially be on its way to hit that resistance. As you can see, we had price consolidate a little bit there, drop to the downside, broke through the weekly trend line, and now it's looking like it could come to that recent swing high there in the market. So that's why I think USD could go to, but we need to see a break of that trend line first to get that move. And if we don't, price could probably just roll over to the downside. And like I said on my weekly analysis, we could actually come back down and retest this area here as support, and then take off to the upside. So two kind of scenarios there for USD/JPY. Again, the price actually not giving us too much information of which way it could go to, but again, breaking that trend line could tell us a lot about where USD/JPY wants to go to. Breaking that trend line, I think we could push up a lot higher. However, if we roll over again, could be a nice area to look to buy from or sell to around 109.500 or 400, around that area there. Prior resistance turning support there in the market. Next, going to take a look at GBP AUD. So GBP AUD for this pair has been very, very choppy recently. We did get a nice push to the upside. Again, price did hold a key level 1.8, which I was talking to you guys for quite a while, because again, price was respecting it really well on the daily chart. You can see support all across here, term resistance, simple support and resistance. Price then held it last week, and then from there we exploded all the way up to 1.2, actually past 1.2. So price was looking very, very bullish at that point, and as you can see, big push to the upside. Now price again are very, very choppy here. You can see if I just draw a trend line there, price is respecting that trend line there. So not too sure about GBP. Break for the trend line, might see a bigger push to the downside back into 1.8 and see price consolidate a lot more. However, if you maintain respect in the trend line, price will probably slowly work its way back up to that prior resistance and maybe give us a double top or even a breakout. Hey, how are you doing? Hope you're all doing well. Hope your trading is going well as well. Again, guys, if you want me to take a look at any charts that you're looking at this morning, just drop it in the live chat and I'll make sure I'll give you some analysis or my opinions on that pair as well. Make sure you drop the time frame as well. But yeah, like I said, GBP AUD, a little bit choppy pair here, but we probably get some clarity if you break through that trend line hold. Could see it push back into 1.8, back into that level there. But right now, price kind of just trading on top of that trend line and could push on a little bit further to the upside. USD CAD, I'm actually in a short trade for this one, looking for a move to the downside here for USD CAD back into around 1.2600, 1.24600 or 1.24500, around that area to the downside from yesterday. We did see a nice push to the downside, and I was looking for to capitalize on that move to see if we can get a push a lot further. Wasn't too sure about USD CAD last week, but again, the price action coming into Monday was looking very correct. It looked like it was struggling to push on, and with that information, we could have seen a nice continuation to the downside, since we were rejecting that key level there on the daily. So support, and now term resistance, as you see, rejected that quite nicely, broke through this trend line here in the market, and then fell to the downside. So looking for that USD CAD move to continue to the downside back into this area here. Right now experiencing some retrace, still treating that as retrace there in the market. Again, stop loss just above the candle that I got in, so above this area here. So if price was to push above that, I will exit the trade completely, but for now looking for price to move to the downside there for USD CAD back into that area of the market there. Could potentially actually break through that and go create some new lows and continue a lot further. Not too sure if I'll stay in the trade for that if price was to do that, but nonetheless looking for a move back into that area there and see if we can go and test around 1.24600 or 1.24500. Yeah, I'll take a look at gold now. Okay, yeah, so gold for this one, back at a key level of resistance in my opinion here. As you can see, key level of resistance is actually where I sold gold 2 weeks ago, or last week, 2 weeks ago, for this move to the downside here, so probably last week then. If we held that resistance there, looking for price to hold that and then fall to the downside. That was the previous resistance I was selling from, and it looks like price is back at that same place there again. So again, gold is a little bit funny. This one, it's come back to a key level here. Could see a push to the downside. Got this counter trend line here. So yeah, maybe a break of that trend line could give us a nice push to the downside, maybe back into that 117.15 level, maybe around this area here, prior resistance turn support. So maybe a nice push into that level. Again, you can probably drop to the low time frame, maybe look to trade that, break out of that trend line back into that support there, or resistance turn support, since we didn't retest that area. But yeah, gold is coming back to a key level in my opinion here, around 1738, and a break of that could actually see price go a lot further, I think, because could be seeing a bit of a reversal, double bottom there potentially for gold, since we've been seeing this downtrend for quite a while, and 1680 for gold is a very key level on the higher time frame. So if gold was likely to reverse, it could be from that 1680 double bottom there. A break of 1738, which is that key resistance there, could take gold a lot further to the upside, maybe back up to 1770, which is this level here in the market. That support there on the daily, which we did not retest. So again, 1770 is definitely a level that price could come to if we do break and hold 1738, because as you see, we broke 1738 a couple times before. Once there, second time there, did not hold on any retest, just came straight back below. So if you were to break above it again for a third time and see price starting to form some wick rejection, start to sort of see some bullish candles at that support, again, could be a really nice opportunity to look to capitalize on a breakout to the upside, and a bigger move to gold back into 1770. However, break through that trend line could see a nice continuation back into around 1715, 1716, back into that area there, and maybe even further, depends if it breaks through it. But again, break that trend line could give us a nice probability move to the downside back into that area. Thank you. Again, guys, if you're looking at any charts, or if you're in any trades as well, just drop it down in the live chat and I'll make sure I'll give you some analysis on those pairs there. But now I'm just going to take a look at NZD-USD. So NZD-USD looking very bearish here on the hourly. 4-hourly chart, again, looking bearish here. Again, price action does not look the best, because we did take out this level here of resistance there on, well, yesterday actually. Took out that area of resistance, and now we're coming back into it. So if you hold a support, could be a nice place to look to buy from NZD-USD to see a continuation to the upside. If you get back below, again, it doesn't look too good for NZD-USD. Looks like we could be seeing a bit of a false breakout, and then maybe seeing price push a lot further to the downside, maybe even back to 0.69500, which is that prior low that price got to around here. So price right now is looking quite bearish here, but again, just depends if we hold the area or not. We still got about 3.5 hours left before the current 4H candle closes, and hourly is like looking very bearish right now. Still got about another half an hour before that closes as well, but right now the momentum is very much to the downside there for NZD/USD. So again, just going to see how those candles close, but I do feel like if we hold that area, we could see a nice resumption of that 0.70300 level and see price continue to the upside. Close below it, we could potentially treat that as a false breakout and see price just fill that range to the downside there of around 60-70 pips to the downside, and see price go a lot further to the downside there for NZD/USD. Next, going to take a look at GBP CAD. So GBP CAD this morning had a very big push to the downside. If I drop to the hourly, you can see price just kind of tanked to the downside. It was moving very, very corrective for the past few days or so. You can see the price action there, very up and down fluctuating, and then we just took out this trend line, broke to the downside with a lot of conviction, and price is still looking very bearish there for GBP CAD. So price right now looks like it could be seeing a bigger push to the downside. Since I just jumped to the 4H, you can see we're back into this area of resistance, potentially have the chance of forming a triple top there, testing it once, second, having that third time, big strong engulfing candle there, could see price push a lot further. We do have some interference around here though, as you can see, very choppy price action, and does have some resistance, will be turning support in that area. But I reckon because we cleared the trend line, might see price push a lot further to the downside and take out this support here. We do have a nice drop to the downside of around 100 pips there, because as you can see, the price action prior to that breaking above it was very clean, a lot of impulsive movement, then sat above it before continuing. So if you break below that, we could see a nice drop to the downside for GBP CAD a lot, and get price go a lot further. But right now GBP CAD is looking bearish, and again, if it keeps up that momentum, price could go probably test that level and then potentially see a break and go further to the downside. Next, going to take a look at Euro GBP. So Euro GBP, I was selling this pair last week coming into Monday, and I did take my profit around 0.84700 level, so right at the bottom there. And as you can see, price has just reversed and pushed very much to the upside. So that 0.84700 was a key area on the daily chart, and price just kind of tapped into it and had a very strong reaction to the upside. And of course, it looks like GBP is very weak currently. We've seen GBP CAD, GBP USD, price is looking very weak. And as you can see, Euro GBP is reacting to that and pushing very much to the upside. So price right now is looking very, very bullish here. And you can see we broke through this this trend line here, and price is continuing to the upside. So price right now is looking very bullish here for Euro GBP. I think we're going to come back into this daily zone here in the market, which is around 0.85530. Key level here on Euro GBP. As you can see, we did consolidate above it for quite some time, so testing there, big reaction there, lower consolidation, took us some time to break through it, but when we did get a nice move to the downside, and it looks like right now we're coming back in to test that level with a lot of momentum. Again, whether we'll break through it or not too sure, because the price action was so corrective, it could be just a false break to the downside. So if that information, we could see price take out that level and break above it, but again, not going to try and call it too early, because again, there's a lot of momentum there. Could see price retrace back to the downside, but right now price is looking very bullish. Looks like we're coming back into this area, see how it reacts, get above it, treat this whole move to the downside as a false breakout, and we could see price take off to the upside a lot further. I believe we do have a bit of a trend line for connect those recent highs there in the market. So you can see connected that high there with that high, so that's probably where price could be heading to go and test that trend line for a third test. And again, probably will break above that support if he wants to go and obviously test that as a third test. So if we were to break above, hold as support, could look to jump to lower time frames and ride it up to that trend line there. That could be a possible opportunity for a third test, and maybe even potentially a breakout to the upside. GBJPY, this one is looking quite bearish now. We've had a big move to the upside for quite some time. for this pair. And as you can see, it looks like the momentum is slowly running out for GBJPY since we're kind of rolling over here. We did take out those recent highs there last week, so you can see this is our recent swing high, formed a new low, kept on pushing to the upside, took out that high there, forming new highs. Looks like price is running out momentum, and it does look like we've got a bit of GBP weakness currently in the market, so that's obviously affecting GBJPY right there, pushing to the downside a little bit. We're coming back into that 152,600 level where we did experience that previous high, bit of consolidation. See how price reacts with that level, whether we resume off it or break below it. Because I did say in my weekly analysis, if we manage to get below that level and hold that recent high, we could see price break below, hold as resistance, and then fall over to the downside. And in that case, this move up, false breakout there, getting people to buy the highs. Again, a bit of manipulation to see the bigger move to the downside since we are losing that bullish momentum. So again, interesting to see how price will react with this level, whether we hold it or break below. Hold, and then price will probably just continue in that bullish direction, because again, long term for GBJPY, I do still feel like price is on its way to go and take out this resistance here in the market. If I just draw this line up, see this resistance here, this kind of like last kind of major swing high of the market. We're holding all of this area of support, and we have done since 2016. So I feel like holding that support, we've seen this big push to the upside, taking out this trend line here in the market. Taking out that trend line, I feel like price is only on its way to go and test that resistance up top, up here, and probably likely to break through it since we didn't break through the support. It's either going to form a range or break to the upside, and I feel like price is probably going to break to the upside for GBJPY. So again, long term, I'm still bullish on GBJPY. I still feel like we can still continue to the upside, but again, short term, we could still see bearish reactions before that happens. So if we do get back underneath that level, short term bias will probably change to bearish, and we could see a bigger push to the downside, potentially back into this area here, really key level of support resistance. As you can see, held that move there, gave us the reaction to the downside and gave us the reaction to the upside. So key level there, if we get back underneath it, nice push to the downside. However, hold that support. I just think we're going to see the continuation from the monthly point of view and see price go a lot further to the upside for GBJPY. So that is my bias on that pair there. Next, going to take a look at Euro NZD. Okay, so for Euro NZD, this price action being quite clear here for this one. It looks like we just had consolidation, impulse, consolidation, impulse. So if I just zoom out, you can see very impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move, consolidation. Could we now be seeing an impulsive move? Again, 1.7 is a very key level. We did test it a few days ago. As you can see, support there, resistance there, gave us that move to the downside. Broke above, retested it, and looks like this move to the downside, this bearish move, is just retraced for another move back up again. For Euro NZD, we kind of tapped into this area here in the market. As you can see, we did have a big push to the upside, a lot of bullish momentum. We have tapped into that, and I think we have also broken a trend line there as well in the market. So broken through that, price is looking very bullish now for Euro NZD. I think the last obstacle in our way before we see a move back up to 1.7, back up to those highs, is this recent swing high in the market. So if you look at the structure, push the downside, pull back, push the downside, pull back, push the downside. So if this was just another pullback and price was to continue back to the downside, the price should reject this area and fall to the downside back to this key support here in the market. Taking out that level gives us a really good probability of price continuing to 1.7 and potentially further. Again, it would be nice to look to buy it from back down here, but if we were to get back above that, hold it as a support. Again, you can look at your lower time frames, hourly, 30 minutes, to see how price is reacting at that level and see a continuation back up to 1.7, which is that key daily area of resistance, and probably actually take out that recent high there as well. But you can see perfectly clear impulse move, retrace. Now potentially could be having an impulse move to the upside as well, but we do need to take out that resistance there and then see price continue in that direction, because this could potentially send price back down. As you can see here, a lot of bearish momentum from that same level. If I probably drop to the hourly, you can see big push to the downside, so we could actually see that reaction happen again. So it is an important level to note, but it does look like USD could be seeing that bigger push to the upside there for that pair. Next, we're going to take a look at CAD JPY. So CAD JPY for this one, we're back at the recent swing high, but price has kind of lost a lot of bullish momentum. It looks like it's consolidating. It can either mean one or two things. We had that push to the upside, now we're retracing, consolidating for another breakout to the upside, or we're losing all that bullish momentum. We're just accumulating orders there, and then we're going to see a nice fall to the downside and potentially a reversal as well. You can see if I just draw a line here of our recent swing high, again, a lot of price breaking above it, back below, back above it, back below. So again, just a lot of consolidation, a lot of indecision there. I mean, break to the downside of that consolidation, could see a nice move and price go a lot further, because that could just be a fake move, catch people on the wrong side of the market, and then a bigger drop to the downside, bit of a double top, and at that point, probably expect price to come back to that neckline area, which is this area here in the market, around 86 200, give or take. So it could see a nice fall to the downside, but again, you do need to see price break off to the downside there for CAD JPY. But right now, in my opinion, it's a little bit unclear. Maybe in the hourly, a bit more detail. So you can see price is forming lower highs, which does give a little bit of insight that we could be seeing a break to the downside here. So again, you can see price was pushing to the upside, forming higher highs, and then from this area in the market, we fell to the downside, push back up, lower high, push down, lower high, push down, lower high. So it is indicating that we could be seeing price maybe fall to the downside with those lower highs there in the market. But again, until we see the break, we don't know which way price will go. But it is indicating that we could be seeing a break to the downside. And if that's the case, again, we could be seeing a push all the way to that area, giving us a double top with 1-2 tests there, push the neckline, break through it. Again, price could go a lot further, because again, on the weekly time frame, I did say for this one that we've got this key level here, which we did not retest from the weekly. And again, it's a very key level, it's not any level. You can see the price is rejecting very strongly from this level here. We broke above it, strong close, price continued that breakout. So you could be seeing that retrace coming back in and then retesting it as support. So break to the upside, back to 88, which is this key level of resistance, reaction from there, fall to the downside, retest that as support, and then look for the continuation and price go a lot further. So that's what I'm thinking weekly could potentially do. But again, we need a lot of price action to happen before that happens there. But right now, price is looking like it's consolidating, forming lower highs, so it might be an indication we'll break to the downside. And if we do, I think we could be seeing a push right back into around that level down there for CAD JPY. Next, going to take a look at NZD CAD. So again, another NZD pair here. You can see this pair is looking a little bit bearish here in the market. So we have this resistance here. Like I said, if price can clear, we can see a bigger push to the upside here for NZD CAD. However, it does look like price is struggling to push through that level and might actually see a push back to the downside. Again, the price action on the daily looks very, very corrective. Looks like the bulls are having a hard time there. Again, but a little bit unclear. I feel like if we do take out, if you do fail to take out that resistance up there, we do potentially have a bit of a range here between the support down there and the resistance up there. So we could be seeing NZD CAD fluctuate a little bit. Again, take out that support, could see price continue that overall bearish direction and see price go a lot further. However, right now price is looking bearish, and we'll probably maybe see price complete the range back into that support, then see price fluctuate for a couple of days or so before breaking to the upside or breaking to the downside. So that's probably what I'm expecting there for NZD CAD. A bit of indecision now, looking quite bearish here, taking out all that price action there to the left. So if I probably just go on the hourly, probably see a little bit clearer. So you can see all the price action here to the left, basically got all cancelled out by these 4 candles to the downside. And I think if you do keep up that momentum, again, likely to see a bit of retrace since how bearish we are looking. But I think we could see price just fall back into that level and just continue that range of how price is looking right now, unless we kind of see prices take a U-turn. But looking at the price action right now, we are looking very, very bearish there. So yeah, currently in a USD CAD short position, looking for a move to the downside. Still treating this movement to the upside as retrace. Again, we did see a nice move to the downside yesterday. You can see very impulsive there, and again you can see the price action to the upside is very choppy right now. So again, still treating that as retracement. Again, stop loss is just above this area here in the market. So again, if you were to push on, retest it, maybe a double top, a good, I'm still okay with that, seeing the move to the downside. However, take out that resistance there, or taking out the previous high. So at that point, the structure of the market will be changing a little bit, and I would not want to be in the trade anymore if price was to do that. So stop losses above there, will be exiting the trade if price was to take out that area in the market, but nonetheless looking for price to push to the downside for USD CAD, and still treating this bullish movement here just as retrace, because again we did see this big drop to the downside. Again, the price does need to retrace that for us to form a healthy trend to the downside, which is what I'm looking for back into this area here around 1.24600 or maybe 1.24500, depending how bearish we get if we do get that move. But looking for a move to the downside for USD CAD, so you can get that move into that area. Again, stop loss just above that level. So we'll be seeing how this trade plans out throughout the live stream. Again, if you're looking at any charts they want my opinion on, or want some analysis on that pair, just drop it in the live chat and I'll make sure I will give you guys some analysis on those pairs. But nonetheless, just going to see how these this trade gets on. Keep an eye on some other pairs as well. Look at GBP USD, because we were coming into that level. Actually, GBP is breaking through that level actually, because we did see a strong move into this level here on the 4H candle. Again, very, very key level. And I was saying, if we take a look at the left here, how prices reacted previously with this level, you can see we've seen bearish reaction, bullish reaction there, support, resistance, gave us this big move to the downside. So I did say that if we were to hold this area, could see price push back into 1.4. But as you can see, it doesn't look like price wants to hold that area. But of course, again, the 4H candle, we still got 3 hours, 3 hours 15 minutes before we can judge the 4H candle, because again, a lot can happen in 3 hours of trading here. So it depends how price reacts with this level. Currently, it's looking bearish, looks like it's breaking through it. But again, we'll probably make that judgment when we get that closed candle of the 4H time frame. But if we do somehow hold on to that level and we see price just pull back, maybe give us a wick to the downside, I do say there's a good possibility we could see price hold into this area and see a swing up to 1.4, which is this key level, and just complete this range between this support here and that resistance there for GBPUSD. However, it does look like maybe we've got a bit of a false breakout and could see price go in the other direction. So we'll see how that gets on. Yeah, I'll take a look at Euro JPY for you. So yeah, Euro JPY, like I said earlier, let me just clean this chart up. So yeah, Euro JPY, like I said earlier, for this pair, I was favouring price to continue back to highs here, because we pulled back into a very key level here on the market in the 4H, held that 130 level. Now we're pushing back to the upside, back up to those recent highs up there. If I jump to the hourly, you can see price is still looking very, very bullish here. Again, I wouldn't look for sells just yet for this market here. Again, it looks like we held this key level here, and price is now pushing to the upside, clearing this resistance here in the market. Again, taking out people some of their trades there, some short trades. But I do feel like price is likely to continue to the upside for Euro JPY back into highs here. Again, if I just zoom out to the 4H, so those highs there, those are recent swing highs before price collapsed to the downside. So I do still feel like Euro JPY still has that potential to go and tap into that level up there. You can see it's that green level just up there, so we haven't tapped into it just yet. I do feel like price is probably likely to go up to those highs there. If we see some rejection, maybe you can anticipate a double top there. But for me, I feel like Euro JPY is a little bit more risky. If maybe we were to see a bit of retrace, tap back into this level here, so prior resistance turn support, could look to maybe sculpt even lower than the hourly, maybe 30-minute or 15-minute, and capitalize on the continuation back to highs. Because right now, looking at the 4 hourly, looking at the daily, it does still like price. It does still look like price wants to continue back up to highs, and maybe even potentially break through them. So that's why I'm anticipating Euro JPY to go to back up to highs. So maybe for an opportunity, if price was to retrace back into this level, hold, give us some rejections, price action telling us it can't hold, it can't break through, sorry. then potentially could look to capitalize on the move to the upside in the lower time frames, back into the highs there, which is around 130.6 650, so around that level there. So that's why I feel like EUR/JPY can go. If we were to break back below, bit of manipulation maybe at that level, could see price fall in the other direction. But at this point, we've had a very strong break above, so I'm not too sure. Well, we could actually fall back underneath, but right now, looking at the higher time frames, bringing that information in, it looks like price wants to continue to the upside. Break back below, I'll probably take another look at the chart, see how I evaluate it then. But right now, analysis looks like it's pushing to the upside, back into highs, and potentially even break through them. So I wouldn't look personally to sell EUR/JPY right now, but I need to see a bit more technical aspects telling me that a potential short could be coming up. But right now, I'm seeing a lot more bullish aspects telling me that price will continue to the upside and probably go and take out those highs as well. So that's what I'm favoring right now for EUR/JPY. So I hope that analysis helped on that pair. So yeah, like I said, eyes on GBUSD, see if we can pull back, hold that level. If that is the case, then we do have a good opportunity coming into this level. If we hold a support back into 1.4 all the way up there, again, a really nice potential move of around 140 pips. If we do hold it, of course, this could just be one big false breakout, one big false move, push to the upside, consolidation, push back down. Again, very textbook false move there in the market. We had one similar here, as you can see, big push to the downside, consolidation, big push back up, went and retested it and then continued in the opposite direction. So that could potentially be happening if we do get some price action like that. But again, this 4H candle's got a lot of trading to do before it closes. So it does need to pull back up, potentially hold that support, show me that's a false breakout, and then could be looking for capitalizing the move back up to 1.4. However, closes below, we could actually see price take off in the opposite direction. So eyes on GBUSD to see how the price action works around that level. Currently in USD CAD now, looking for that move to the downside, back into this low down here, and we'll be seeing how that develops. Hey, thank you for that. Thank you for subscribing. I hope that information was helpful. And again, if you want analysis on another pair as well, just drop a comment and I will give you some analysis on that pair. So, but thanks again for subscribing. But yeah, so just like I said, USD CAD looking for a move to the downside, treating this bullish movement here as retrace. So we had that impulsive move. Price is kind of just pushing up to the direction there. We're probably around 50% of that move right now. We're seeing a lot of rejection coming into the market. So I just want to see price break through that trend line and then potentially go in my direction to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for USD CAD, back into this level here. Then stop loss just above that area. And if you take out that, I'll just exit the trade completely. I'm looking for a move to the downside. Again, my bias on the DXY, so the US dollar strength right now, is to the downside temporarily right now. So I'm favoring USD CAD to go down, GBUSD to go up, EURUSD to go up, ADUSD to go up as well. So again, that has factored into my decision. AU right now looks very, very bearish, as you can see here in the market. Price is pushed down, looking very bearish there. Again, very strong area in the market here. So you can see resistance once, push to downside, resistance again, push to the downside. So I was favoring price to go break through this area, but as you can see, price is struggling in there and having a hard time to break through it. So it looks like we might see potentially another push to the downside for ADUSD. And if that happens, could see price go a little bit further. And as you can see, we are looking very, very bearish here right now. So maybe expecting to see a bit of retracement now for AU since we have this strong move. But price for me is looking very bearish. Looks like it's failing to break through that resistance. And at that point, could see price take off in the other direction. But yeah, currently in that USD CAD short. So just going to see how things map out there. GBUSD also eyes in that one. See if we can get price pull back up. EURUSD, again, expecting to see a push to the upside back into this level here, like I was saying earlier. A nice key level of support, which we did not get a retest of. So you can see support there once, second time, third time, broke through, strong close below, did not pull back to retest it, no wick rejection back into that level, and just collapsed the downside all the way back to this key level around 1.17500. So I feel like we could be on our way to coming back and retest it. You can see the price action we got yesterday. We had this push to the upside last week, pulling back from end of last week coming into this week, and then Monday, big push to the upside, very impulsive, again, very key price action there in the market. So just going to the daily, you can see where we are. We held this support again a few months ago when we had this big push to the upside on the daily. Again, big push, pull back. This is the kind of the area where the market held, and we got that continuation all the way up to 1.23. So it does have a lot of weight behind it, and the fact that we've got this impulsive move at that same level is giving me a lot of information saying we could be seeing a push to the upside and see a bit, maybe a bit of a deeper pullback or reversal. Not too sure. We'll judge that price action when it comes. But right now, price is looking bullish here for EURUSD. Again, treating this area here as just consolidation here after the impulsive move. Treating that area as consolidation. Might see a retest of that, but nonetheless, as long as we stay above it, which looks like the price is likely to do so, I think we'll probably see EURUSD continue to the upside and back and test the support now as resistance. Yeah, I'll take a look at gold for you. Okay, so for gold, like I was saying, for this one, we're coming back to key level 1738. You can see really key level. I was selling gold for this move to the downside not too long ago from that 1738 level. You can see resistance, 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 couple false breakouts. So one big move straight back down, another big move straight back down, held resistance a couple more times and then fell to the downside. And right now we're testing that same level again. So just depends if price wants to hold it or not. Again, I'll put this trend line here in the market. So if we were to take out that trend line, that gives me a nice signal that price is holding that resistance, breaking through the trend line, so structure is changing, and then we'll probably see a continuation to the downside where we'll be looking to expect price to come back to around this level here. See prior resistance broke above, no retest. So again, the clear area that price might want to come and tap into, which is around 1719, 1718. I feel like gold could potentially see a move into that level, but again, the break of that trend line will give us that confirmation to see that move to the downside, and the probability will be on our favor at that point. However, if we maintain this bullish structure, because you can see if I just zoom in, price is making higher highs, higher lows, so push, pull back, push, pull back, push, pull back. So price is still maintaining those higher highs, higher lows, and if price just keeps up that structure, we could actually break through the 1738 level. And if you were to do that, show price holding, because last week when we did break above this level, you can see the price did not retest it, which is a key aspect to focus on, because you see big push to the upside, came back down, did not hold at it, just came straight back down. Second time we did it again, big push to the upside. If I just zoom in, see a little bit clearer. So push to the upside, came straight back down. Again, so that's indicating to us that every time price breaks above it, it doesn't retest, it just breaks back below. So this time, if you were to see a break above, and now this time price shows us some rejection, shows us that it's not breaking straight back below, that could be the time we see a breakout to the upside and gold take off to 1770, which is key level here on the daily. So if I just zoom out, key level here on the daily, 1770, nice support, which we did not retest. So I feel like that could be an opportunity there for long. So just giving some possibilities of long and shorts here. But right now, price looks like it is rejecting that resistance. Break of that trend line could see a push back into that area. So hope that analysis helped there on gold. But yeah, just break that trend line, push, pull into that area. But right now, price is moving quite correctly for gold. So yeah, looking for that push to the downside there for USD CAD. Price is looking quite bullish now, but again, still treating this as price action. You can see the type of the way the price is moving compared to this move, then compared to this move. Very impulsive, very corrective. But again, we could just gradually push to the upside and then take out that resistance. But we'll be seeing how price action comes into that, leading into that move. But right now, still looking for that move to the downside. Again, this move could probably take the rest of the week to play out. So I'm aware of that. It's not going to happen straight away, but still looking for that move to the downside. And a key aspect in this trade is, again, the weakness of the DXY, weakness of the USD, and also the strength of CAD. But looking to capitalize on the weakness of USD to the downside. So looking for a move there to the downside for USD CAD. GPUSD looking for a move up. but again, it does look like it's breaking back below that area. So not too sure about GBUSD. If you were to hold underneath it, maybe this whole price action again, like I said earlier, big false breakout for a bigger move to the downside. But at that point, I probably want to see a break of that trend line as well, and then could be seeing GBUSD take off to the downside and price go a lot further there. But a lot more development needed on GBUSD for me to work out a good opportunity on that pair. And USD CAD looking for a move to the downside. So we'll see how these pairs get on. Again, if anyone else wants me to look at any different charts, wants to share their trades as well, just put it in the live chat. I'll make sure I'll give you some analysis on the pairs that you want me to take a look at. But yeah, so going through most of the pairs, again, GBUSD is looking good for potential buys or sells, to be fair. Again, need a bit more development on that one. USD looking for a move to the downside. AU was looking for a move to the upside, but it does look like price is rejecting that resistance there. So not too sure how that one can play out. Again, we'll take keep an eye on it, see how it plays out. But was looking for a move to the upside there, but now could be actually seeing a bigger move to the downside. So we'll be seeing how these pairs play out through the course of the morning. And yeah, if you want me to take some analysis on any different pair, just put it in the live chat. I'll make sure I'll give you some analysis on those pairs. Okay, so I'm going to take some analysis on GBJPY. So again, when I look at the charts, I mainly just use multi-time frame analysis, looking at a range of different time frames. So again, weekly, daily, 4 hourly, main time frames to look at, and then I just use those time frames, kind of sync them together, and then use that to determine my bias. Again, just looking at the structure of the market. So if you look at USD CAD here, you can see we're making lower lows, lower highs. Again, that's the main thing, the main aspect I look at, is just how the market is moving to determine my bias, and then use that in sync with other time frames. So USD CAD here right now, moving to the downside there on the hourly chart. You can see lower lows, lower highs. 4 hourly chart doing the same thing as well, failing to take out a key level in the market, which is this area of resistance here on the daily. So if I just go in the daily and I just take that across, you can see key level of resistance, support there, support, 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 now resistance, and then you can see we failed to take out that level, break through this trend line here, and then start making lower lows, lower highs. So again, that gives me a nice bias to go short on the market, looking for that continuation to the downside. So it's just using key levels in the market, support and resistance essentially, and then just seeing how the market is moving, whether it's moving higher highs, higher lows, and then just trading in that direction as well. So that's mainly how I trade, just looking at the time frames, different time frames, and just seeing lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, and a confirmation could easily just be price rejecting a level. So for this one, it was price rejecting level, then breaking through the trend line was kind of my confirmation. So again, rejecting that level there on 1.26200 and then breaking through that trend line, that was my confirmation for the trade. So it's just technical aspects, either breaking through the trend line, double top, triple top, holding a key level. So that's mainly the confirmation that I use for my trading in the Forex market. So just looking for either breaks or holding of a technical tool. So breaking a holding support resistance, breaking a holding a trend line. So that's mainly the two aspects I look for confirmations. And then term bias, again, just looking at the structure of the market. You can see here price was pushing to the downside, changed that bias and now pushing to the upside. And then again, I'll be looking for buys, looking for sells here in this instance, pushing to the downside, giving me lower lows, lower highs, and looking to capitalize on that structure to the downside. And then analyzing GPJPY, and taking all the aspects in, looking at higher time frames. Again, like I said, for this one, monthly, long term, I'm still bullish on GPJPY. So just jump to the monthly quickly, show you some analysis on that. And you can see this support area in the market since 2016. Price has been holding to this support. Tried to break through it once, twice, third time, and then broke the trend line to the upside. So again, breaking through that trend line was a good confirmation, saying that price was going to push to the upside a lot further for GPJPY. As you can see, price is still doing that right now. So I do think for GJ, we're probably going to come back to these highs here and potentially even take them out. So again, bias is very much to the upside for a monthly time frame. However, looking at the more looking at the low time frames, you can see that price has been pushing to the upside for GJ, pushing to the upside, losing momentum after taking out this recent high here in the market. And then we're seeing a little bit of a push to the downside. So GJ, again, long-term bias is still to the upside. So if you do hold this now as support, so resistance there, big push to the downside, now breaking above that level, if it holds this as support, I think we could see a nice resumption to the upside for GJ and price continue to the upside for this pair. However, if we don't hold it and we see price break below, so it breaks below that level, then holds it as resistance, again, that will be now a confirmation for me looking for sells, saying that we're holding that as resistance, treating that as a false breakout, and could see another push to the downside. And the likely level to see that is back into this level here, around 150, 800. As you can see, nice support area there in the market. Whereas resistance back against us as support, so a really key level of support resistance there for GJ. So if we're to break back below, hold his resistance, give me rejection, price action, engulfing candles, shooting stars, then could look to capitalize on a move to the downside back into this area here. However, if we don't push the downside and price is showing me that it's holding, so again, just wick rejections or bullish engulfings, price that's showing me signs that it's holding that level, then I'll still maintain that bullish price and see price continue to the upside. So again, just reacting to what the market's giving me, because again, even though long term I'm still bullish on GPJPY, I can react and adapt to see for selling opportunities as well. So if we were to break below, again, that's giving me a nice sign that price just had a fake move to the upside, and we could be seeing a drop to the downside. But if price was to reject that level, hold it as support, and then we could just be seeing a textbook break and retest, so breaking above, retesting, and then continuing to the upside. So that's what could be happening for GJ. So just staying on your toes there. Again, key level, see how price reacts with it, and then make the judgment there. So right now, price is looking a little bit bearish there on the hourly, pushing to the downside, breaking through this trend line here in the market. So again, probably going to see a push into that level around if you keep up this bearish momentum, see how it works with it, if it rejects it, if it holds, and then look to base your opinion on that. But for me right now, push into that level, if it holds, another continuation to the upside, breaks below, holds, continuation back lower. So that's what I'm favoring now for GPJPY, and I hope that analysis did help. Okay, so we'll do some analysis on GPAUD, Euro JPY and gold. Okay, so I'm going to start with GPAUD. So for this pair, we had a nice push to the upside last week. Price is looking very, very bullish here. From 1.8, again, key level there on GPAUD. So we held that support there, big push to the upside, held that as resistance, and then we had this big push to the downside. So price sold off a little bit. Now we're moving quite corrective here, and I think if we break through that trend line, we could see price push back into that 1.8 level, which is around here. Again, push back into it. However, right now, prices still respect that trend line. So with that information, could actually see GPAUD slowly push back into this level here and go and retest it, maybe form a double top or break through it. But right now, price is holding that trend line quite tightly. And I think a break that trend line, push back into 1.8. However, again, like I said, we're kind of just correctly moving above it. So can't give too many bold calls right now for GPAUD because, again, the trend line is still intact. And the price was to continue, could see price continue a little bit further to the upside there. But again, break that trend line, push to 1.8. That's kind of what I'm favoring. However, if we don't and we hold firm, probably see price just slowly push to the upside. So that's what I'm favoring there for GPAUD. Euro JPY, like I said, for this one, price is still looking very, very bullish here. I'm favoring price to come tap back into those highs up there. So you can see these recent highs, big push to the upside, giving us new highs, fell to the downside, and then slowly pushing back up again. Held this key support here around 130, and then I do favor price to push back into highs up there. So that's what I'm favoring Euro JPY to head to. Again, you can see price is looking very bullish here. Again, maybe if we were to retrace, hold this back here as support, so impulsive move, retrace here, hold that previous resistance as support, could see the continuation to the upside. And then look to capitalize on that, maybe on the low time frames like the 30 or the 15 minute. But yeah, I still think a Euro JPY is heading to those highs up there and potentially even give us a higher high as well. So bullish right now on Euro JPY. There's no reason to sell this market right now. As you can see, the last 4H candle closed very strongly above that resistance. This resistance here on the hourly, very strong close above. I still think price is continuing to the upside for Euro JPY and is likely to make a higher high there as well. And for gold, like I said on this one, again holding that key trend line there. Break through that trend line, I see a move back into 1719, 1718, this area here in the market. So take out that trend line, nice move back into that area. However, hold that trend line, we could actually see a break of 1738 and potentially a breakout to 1770. So key level, like I've been saying, 1738, resistance, couple false breakouts, resistance there again, and eventually gave us this big move to the downside, back up at that same level. And then it again just depends how price wants to react with it. If it wants to hold or break through. If it wants to hold, a break of that trend line should happen. If we were to hold this, should happen. In that case, could see it move into that level there. So that kind of is the confirmation there, breaking the trend line. Again, we did see a big strong engulfing candle from that level, so it could already be looking to sell that. But again, you do have that obstacle in your way with that trend line. However, if we were to break above that level, hold it as support, so 1738, break above it, hold it as support, I feel like price could take off to 1770, which is that key daily level, which price did not retest, which I've been talking about for some time. Support there, support there. I feel like price could shoot back up and go retest it, since potentially we have a double bottom here, since it once, twice, hold that double bottom, 1680, very key level on the weekly time frame for gold, gave us a big push to the upside. Previously, last time we were at that level, so I just extend that across. Oh, that's the trend line. Extend this across. You can see 1680 held this support there, big push all the way up to the highs there for gold. So we're back at that same support. So us having that double bottom could be signifying price having reversal, breaking to the upside. In that case, that move to 1770 does look more likely. But again, it's going to be reactive, not predictive. Break through the trend line, assuming that resistance will hold. Looking for me to the downside. Maintain respect for that trend line, push the upside, break above 1738, hold that support, then could be looking to capitalize on that move to the upside. But right now, is look like the move to the downside could be more likely for gold. But again, we're going to stay reactive on that pair. So again, hope that analysis helped on that pair. Okay, so it's just gone 12 p.m, so I'm going to end the live stream shortly and do a quick run down some of the pairs that I looked at earlier, see how my current trade is doing, and also seeing any opportunities later on in the day. So let's start with AUD/USD. So for this one, again, price is still looking very bearish here. We get rejected from that prior resistance there in the market. See, we tapped into it once, fell to the downside, tapped into it again, had another bearish reaction. Was thinking that potentially price could break through it. However, as you can see, we kind of consolidated it a little bit at that area, then fell to the downside quite fast there. So price here is looking quite bearish. Looks like we might be seeing a slight reaction here from this area in the market here. As you can see, big push to the upside from that area, tapping back into it, might see another reaction. But right now, AUD/USD is looking bearish here, and unless we get above it, price could actually go a little bit further. EUR/USD still consolidating here in the market. Again, I'm still favouring a push to the upside for EUR/USD back into this level here. Nice support there, once, twice, a third time. Fell to the downside, no retest. So I feel like price, since respecting this level here around 1.17500, could take off to the upside and go and test that level there. Right now, we can see an hourly is very, very messy. Again, just draw a box around that price action, so just treating that as consolidation. Expecting to see a breakout either to the upside or to the downside, but as long as price stays above this level here, I still favour a move to the upside. Get below it, probably reanalyze the market and maybe actually see it move in the opposite direction. But right now, price looks like it's moving sideways, breaks to the upside, good chance of pushing all the way to that level there. Breaks to the downside, might just be retesting that level. Again, monitor the price action there, see if it's rejection or holding. Breaking through or holding, and then we can capitalize on a move to the upside. But right now, price moving sideways and still looking for price to break to the upside. GBP/USD still looking very bearish here. Again, very key level there. I said that price needs to respect for us to get that move to 1.4. However, again, price hasn't pulled away too much. Again, you can see on the hourly, it's closed very strongly below on the hourly there, but again, I want to see how the 4 hourly reacts to it. It'd be nice to see price pull back up in a couple hours time before that 4H candle closes, but again, not too sure if we'll see that. Price right now is looking very bearish and potentially see it move in the opposite direction. I want to see price take out that trend line first, and then we could potentially look for a continuation to the downside of the bearish kind of counter trend move that we've seen on the daily for the past few days now for GBP/USD. But we'll be monitoring price action around here. If for some reason we get above this level, start holding it as support, then I will be looking for that move to 1.4. But right now, we're actually firmly below, so need a little bit more development there. USD CAD still looking quite bullish in this one, still looking for that move to the downside. Again, if we take out this resistance here, we'll exit the trade completely, but nonetheless looking for a move to the downside back to this level here. Again, I'll be in a live stream again tomorrow, so I'll tell you guys how that trade is doing. Right now, it looks like we're still pushing to the upside, a bit more impulsive, so it could be meaning we have another push back into that area, but still looking for that capitalizing move to the downside. USD/JPY, again, still pushing to the upside there. Again, we do have this trend line here in the market, breaks through it, might actually see price push to the upside a lot further, because again, it looks like maybe having a bit of a impulsive move, bit of retrace now, and then another continuation to the upside. So that could be what's forming for USD/JPY. But again, it could roll back over to the downside, so just see how price respects for that trend line. Testing it now, so see if it breaks through or holds. And USD/CHF pull back into this level here, having a bit of a reaction right now, taking out the trend line last week, now having a bit of a reaction at this level here. Get below it, could see another push back into this level here, key daily level, but right now we're pulling back up a little bit, so just see how USD/CHF is reacting with that level. On the hourly, you can see we're kind of holding that a little bit, but still very corrective of this very strong impulsive move to the downside that we had not too long ago for this pair. So again, this could just be retracement, looking for the continuation to the downside. In that case, could be seeing a nice move back into that level there for USD/CHF. So currently in USD/CAD, looking for that move to the downside. We'll see how this trade plans out. We'll be keeping you guys updated during my live stream tomorrow. Again, same time as today, 10 a.m. To 12 p.m. So that is GMT time, by the way. But yeah, we'll be looking at USD/CAD for that move to the downside and keep you guys updated tomorrow. So make sure you're there during the live stream, and we'll see how that trade gets on. But yeah, that is the end of the live stream. Thank you all for joining me. Again, thanks for joining. If you haven't subscribed already, feel free to do so, and also leave a like on the video if you're feeling generous. But thanks again for watching, and until the next one, I will see you guys later.